Okay, day 2 of our tree installation project. We're back out here bright and early. This is our progress from yesterday. We essentially were able to install, mark, flag, and install 25 of our trees. So we've got about 50 to go. We're gonna have about 75 to 77, something around that mark maybe, for this project. Depends, we got the curve down there at the end. We might put 2 or 3 more in there, so we might get closer to 80. We'll see how the day goes, but you can kind of see, you kind of get an idea of the finished product once we get everything tubed and staked and get the weed mat on. These flags here that are still existing, those are for our hackberry trees, which we're going to be kind of our second round of planting today. So we'll get those interspersed with the red oaks. But yeah, good progress, and should go pretty quickly today, hopefully. No snafus, but again, 50 holes to drill. We're going to drill all these holes, kind of the phase 1 project for today, and then we'll get to planting the rest of them. So beautiful Iowa morning. Cooler right now. It's going to get up to about 85, 86 today. So that should be a little bit of a challenge. Got to stay hydrated, but we're going to get going. And I've got my dad and my son helping me today, so we'll get the time lapse set up and we'll be good to go. All right, we are finished. We may have set a land speed record here for number of holes augured out. We did 50 holes in about an hour and 20 minutes. So it was pretty amazing how quickly it went. We had 3 people working on it, as you saw from the video. Go about, 16 inches, 18 inches deep on the hole, and then dump the dirt, the excess dirt, onto the plastic. And yeah, that went really quickly. It was awesome. So we've got alternating red oaks and hackberries. So from our line yesterday, all the trees you see here in the tubes are red oaks from our day 1 side of the project. Got about 25 of those planted. And so day 2, phase 2 of our project for today is going to be going and planting the rest of the trees now. So all the orange and yellow flags, orange and pink flags are the hackberries, and any of the remaining white flags are red oaks. And so phase 2 for today is going to be planting all the trees, and then phase 3 will be just like what we did yesterday. We'll go back and put the stakes in the ground, get the weed mat down, and then finally get them tubed to protect them. So really happy with the progress here for today. So looking forward to getting this finished up. Okay, I wanted to show the process now of actually planting the tree itself. So we have our hackberry tree here with the bare root obviously showing there. I'm just trying to get a close-up of the root system. You want to make sure that that hole is deep enough to accommodate the root. You don't want it to curl up at the bottom in any way, and that's probably really hard to see because it's just dark down there. But if you want to hold the tree up again, we'll see that bottom root system. So we've got some good roots there. If your roots kind of jut off to the side one way, sometimes you have to dig the edge of your hole out to accommodate that. This one, pretty straightforward, pretty vertical. Actually, it's kind of rare that it's this vertical. So usually there's more of a spread on some of the roots. So as I mentioned in the video where we're talking about tips of the trade, the auger is great. We'll get you 90 to 95% of the way there. You're still going to need the spade because there are times when that root system is going to come out and jut out to one side or the other. So we dig the hole deep enough. We make sure that the sides are wide enough for that root system so that that root system is not curled on top of itself. And then we take our packet of NutriPro We put it in the bottom, cover it with a layer of dirt. That's the first step before we actually get the tree going. And then we get that covered, and I'm gonna get closer because I'm gonna hold this tree, and we're gonna hold it essentially right above the ball of the root there, the root system. You don't want to get it too deep. You don't want the roots exposed. There's kind of a happy place there where the tree's gonna thrive. So I'm gonna hold it here, and we're gonna start putting some dirt over it. You're just kind of sprinkling in the first layers of dirt, trying to keep the tree from dropping down. Once the dirt starts going in there, there's a tendency for the tree to get pulled down in too deep, which is also a problem. So don't want the root system exposed, don't want it too deep. And so gonna find that place. Planting trees is very hard to do one person. Ideally you have two. Actually 3 is kind of a good number because there's always other jobs that people could be doing. You know, you've seen some of the videos already with whether it's getting supplies or getting ready for the next tree in the line or whatever. So we found that at least 3 people is good when you're planting trees, but minimum of 2 for sure. So now that we've got the tree kind of put down in the hole there, I'm still holding it, still trying to keep it kind of situated so it doesn't get pulled too much. Sprinkling more layers of dirt on it. Oops, and I just lost it. There we go. So breaking up any clumps that we see, pulling out any debris, any rocks, any pieces of wood, any existing root systems that were in there from anything else that's growing underground, trying to get all that junk out of there. Again, trying to give the tree best start as possible in life here. This is really nice looking dirt. We have a variety of soils on this property. Everything from sandy, loamy, to clay, to rich, dark soil. Everything in between. There's a lot of different things going on, but in this particular line of trees, this area's got some really nice soil. So that's pretty much kind of situated there. So we're just going to keep putting on the layers of dirt, breaking it up as we go, pushing it down. And so then once you get it kind of in the ground, you want to check it for, you know, plumb. Make sure it's kind of vertically up and down in a good place. It's not leaning too far to one direction. So in this case, we're going to want to come back a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. That's good. I'll check it from this side. And then we need to go to the north a little bit. Looks good. And so now she's going to grab it and compact the top layer there. And then you might have to check again for your plumb. Pretty good there. I think we need to go back to the north quite a bit. Yeah, we need to go back a little more. There you go. And then depending on kind of the slope of the land, she's building up a little kind of dam there on the backside to help retain some of that moisture so that the moisture is just not rolling off and sloping if you're at an angle or on a slope. So that's going to help catch kind of a little bowl, so to speak, to help keep that moisture towards the tree itself and over the root system. So anyway, there's lots of different strategies and techniques here. This is kind of what works for us. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, phase 2, day 2 complete. We are all planted. All of our trees have been installed. Didn't get a time lapse on this particular aspect of the project. We kind of had to divide and conquer a little bit here with some childcare stuff and some other things going on today. So didn't get that time lapse in there, so sorry about that. But you can see we are all the way through with phase 2 of planting, installing all the trees. We've got the weed mats down, so I'm going to go back now and get all of the stakes dropped on the ground, and then start putting those in, and we'll get the rest of these tubed and get moving on, and drop some water on them, and we are done. So here we go. Okay, so we're almost there. Got all the stakes in the ground. Made good time doing that. And now, as you can see, we are doing the last part, which is getting the tubes on. And then we'll get it one more shot of water, and we'll go from there. So pretty good progress we've made today on this project. We're not gonna end up having a third day or needing a third day, which is great. We're able to get it all done today with a lot of help from a lot of people, especially like my parents, and our 2 older kids were very helpful and instrumental in helping us get this done today. Kind of a all hands on deck team effort. But what I wanted to point out real quick, you'll notice in the time lapse, when I was doing the post installation, I was kind of dropping the poles and then going and putting them in by hand, and so you notice I wasn't having to use the post pounder too much. And there's a trick to that, which is when we plant the trees and we get the trees in the ground, we give it a good shot of water, a couple quarts of water, and then that gets the ground nice and soft. We wait a little while, then we come back, and you can almost push those T-posts in almost like butter, just pushing right through. Now you saw at the end, started watering on the far end first, and so that ground was starting to dry out a little bit, so I did have to use the post pounder to finish off a few of those. But I was able to put in 40 plus T-posts in under 90 minutes doing that method, and without really having to use a post pounder, which for someone like me that has a lot of joint issues, we use the tricks, right? Use the tricks of the trade so that you're not taxing your joints even more. But that's a little trick to it that I wanted to share with all of you. And then I mentioned earlier, we're kind of wrapping this around the back side here. Try to get out and give you a little more perspective. So we're getting to the end, so we just had to make a decision there as to how we were going to tie this corner in. There's a couple of ways to do it. We chose to just kind of do a natural wrap. So I'm going to drill 2 more holes, and we decided to leave that for the end just so we could make sure we had the spacing we wanted and make sure that everything was lining up the way we wanted it to, with kind of the alternating species of red oak and hackberry that we've been planting today, but kind of gives you a little bit more of a perspective on the process. It's a lot of work. Conservation is hard, but it's worth it. You know, this is what we get if we do it right. This is what we end up with. So that was planted 2 years ago. Same process. We did 38 trees, I believe. It took 1 day, about an 8 to 10 hour day, and we did that. We're almost double that number on this line. Don't know the final count yet. Somewhere between, I think, 65 and 75. So we'll go back and figure out where we landed, but you can see the difference here. And hopefully it'll turn out like that. So I'll do another video with a few more, I don't know, pointers, tricks, tips, kind of help you. Maybe if you're looking to tackle a bigger project, you know, something that's really important when it comes to this. I mentioned in I think one of the very first videos is it's a lot of planning. You know, something like this, my wife and I started planning over 6 months ago. And so from just figuring out where you want to do it on the property to ordering the trees, to make sure you have all the supplies, to make sure you have help around you, like parents, in-laws, babysitters, whatever the case may be, if you have kids, to help kind of manage everything so you can get something like this done. It's a big undertaking. So we spent 2 full days, probably 12-hour days all told, because last night out here past dark, getting some tree tubes on for the ones that we planted last night. But yeah, a lot of planning that goes into something like this. Sometimes I think people think, oh, I'll just grab a tree and go stick it in the ground. And yeah, you can do that. But if you're doing a bigger project like this, really want to just encourage you to start weeks and months in advance to make sure that when you do get to the time that you're wanting to plant, everything turns out smoothly for you. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll do another video again, kind of tips, tools, hacks, you might say, to save yourself some time, energy, help preserve your body a little bit, because it is very physically taxing. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.